going to start in a seated position. So any seat that feels comfortable to you. I like Sukhasana because it's a comfortable seat for my knees and my hips, but you might choose to sit with legs out, legs wide. Any other variation, what we want is just a situation where we can kind of sit up nice and tall and just we want our hands to be able to have access to our chest and our ribs, because we're going to do just a little bit of focus on our breath work there. So get comfortable in your seat. Take a second to find your way. Awesome. And then once you feel like you're pretty good, you're pretty comfortable, just right away, if it feels comfortable to do so, close your eyes and just take a moment to tune in and notice your physical body. And then as you give everything a moment to just kind of quiet down, notice if there's any little subtle changes that you can make so that you're just a little bit more comfortable and can sit up nice and tall. And then for the first part of our practice, we're going to put our hands on our ribs and tune into the breath. But if you know what you're doing and you just want to keep your eyes closed the whole time, do that. But if you prefer to keep your eyes open because you're just learning the new language, then eyes open and just in a soft gaze. So you're not too focused, hyper-focused on what things look like so much as just how things feel. So take your left hand and just see if you can reach across and find the right side of your ribs. And then just get a nice, wide, comfortable handhold. And then once you're there, come back to your breath. Take a nice, generous inhale. Nice, slow exhale. And we just want to see if we can start to find that opening, expansiveness in the ribs as we breathe in. Or that slight bit of contraction or drawing in as you exhale. And then as we're breathing here, we just want to see if we can focus or concentrate the breath into that container of the rib cage and the lungs. So rib cage protects the lungs. So we want to breathe in nice and deep, fill the lungs up and allow the ribs to expand. And then allow the ribs to draw in as you exhale. And take one more breath here. And then release that hand. And we're going to take all of that to the other side. So you're just going to reach your right hand across, fan the fingers out, get a good generous handhold of ribs underneath your hand. And then eyes closed, or just soften your gaze and come back to your breath. Take a nice generous inhale, fill your lungs up. Nice slow exhale, let the ribs draw in. Take about 3 more cycles of breath here. You're really just tuning in and filling the lungs up, allowing that expansive breath to move the ribs. Great. And then when you're ready, release your right hand. And now we're going to come back to the left hand, but now we're going to reach it up over the shoulder. So we're just going to get a nice widespread fingers, grab hold of the shoulder, and then let the elbow just kind of soften down. So we're just going to let this be like a half a hug. If you were hugging yourself, you're just going to give yourself a half a hug. And then once you've got that half hug, close your eyes down or soften your gaze. Take a nice deep breath in and see if you can notice and feel a little bit of movement of breath, maybe through the front of the chest or into the shoulder. One more breath, just like that. Awesome. And then release that hand. And we're going to take it to the other side. So we're just going to reach across over the shoulder. So get your handhold and then let your elbow get heavy. Close your eyes down or soften your gaze and come back to your breath. Nice, generous inhale, fill your lungs up, and then just see if you can notice or feel any movement in your shoulder. Awesome. And then when you're ready, release that hand. And then we're going to take 3 rounds of cat cow breath with our normal pattern of breath. And then we're going to switch the pattern of breath. So just to start, inhale, lift your chest, lift your chin, arch your back. And then as you exhale, round your back. Think about pulling the belly button in slightly, round the shoulders, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale to lift your chest, lift your chin, arch the back. Exhale and round your back. And do that one more time with that breath pattern. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you round. Inhale to a neutral spine. Left hand's going to touch the ground. Right hand's going to reach up. Take a gentle side bend, reaching the arm up just as high as feels comfortable. And if at any point, even if the arm doesn't get up, if you feel a gentle opening or stretch through the side body, that's where you stop. So you're just going to reach up to the point where you feel that gentle stretch, and then take a nice generous inhale, fill your lungs up. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release, and we'll take it to the other side. Arm reaches up just as high as feels good, and you feel a little opening sensation through the side of the body. Once you're there, you stop and take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Wonderful. And then come back up. And now we're going to come to that cat cow, but we're going to reverse the breath. So start with a neutral spine. Take your inhale. Exhale, lift the chest, lift the chin, squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhale and round the back. Exhale to lift the chest, lift the chin, arch the back. Inhale and round your back, tuck your chin in. One more just like that. Exhale as you lift. Inhale to round. Come back up to a neutral spine, and then we're going to release the hands behind the back just as far as feels right. So notice your shoulders, notice your chest. So you go just as far as feels like a little bit of an opening or a gentle pull through the front of the heart space, and then lift your chin, gaze up, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Release that gentle back bend, and then take the right hand over to the left knee, and we're going to rotate just a little bit. So try to keep your heart pointing toward your knee. If you feel like you could go past that, no need to. We want to keep our heart pointing towards our knee, and then back to that cat cow breath, but with that reverse breath. So exhale as you lift the chest. Inhale to round. Exhale to lift. Inhale to round. One more like that. Exhale, lift. Inhale, round. Come back to a neutral spine, release your twist, and take it over to the other side. So you're going to get your handhold first. Heart is pointing towards the knee, or just as far as feels like a good position for you to be in. Take your inhale. Exhale, lift your chest, lift your chin. Inhale, round your back. Exhale to lift. Inhale to round. One more just like that. Exhale, lift. Inhale, round. Come up to a neutral space, release back to center, and then we're just going to try to draw a couple of circles with the ribs. So ribs are going to circle around in one direction. Just see if you can find a gentle and smooth movement with those ribs. And then when you're ready, take your ribs and circle them the other way. No particular breath pattern, just finding that little bit of loose movement with the ribs so we kind of loosen up anything we may have come across. Great. And then when you're ready, come to center, lean back into your sits bones, swing your legs out if they weren't there already, and then just give everything a little wiggle, a little bounce. Legs as wide as feels good, but we're just going to take a little internal, external rotation. So we're going to start to just let the toes drop in, and then let the toes turn out. Let your toes drop in, let your toes turn out. Do that 2 or 3 more times just to loosen up the hips that we may have just gotten a little bit tugged in towards each other since we were in that seated position. And then once you feel like things are good with that nice wide position, find a nice tall spine. We're going to lean forward like one step of the hand. So find that tall lifted chest, and then see if you can just keep all of that length in your spine, reaching up through the crown of the head, and then just step your hands forward, one big step. Once you're there, stop. Bend your knees a little bit, flex the feet. So pull your toes in towards your body, and then see there if you start to notice or feel just maybe a little tug in the back of the hamstrings. And once you feel it, if you don't worry about it, but if you can feel it, maybe just lean the heart forward just a tiny bit more. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Walk your hands back and lean into your sits bones, and we're going to slide the legs in. So nice bent knees, and we're just going to swish the knees gently side to side, just to bring a little fluid movement back to the hips. And then when you feel ready, we're going to spin it around into a tabletop. So if you like to cushion your knees, take your blanket, take your pillow, whatever you like to cushion with, place it under your knees or under your shins. So especially if you've got tender kneecaps, maybe a little bit under the shins so that the kneecaps don't even have to touch the ground. And then once you're in that tabletop position, we're going to start by just curling the toes under. So curl both sets of toes under, and then start to pull your butt back toward your heels to a point that feels comfortable to you. So we want to find a stretch in the toes and the bottoms of the feet, but for each of us, that can look a lot different. So if you have anything going on with the feet, arthritis, plantar fasciitis, any of that kind of stuff, it might be just almost a barely noticeable movement pulling back. So make sure you stay in a place that you can breathe comfortably in. We're going to take 3 nice big breaths here. Great. And then before you lift away from this place, with that slight curl under of the toes, can you push into your toes, almost as if you were trying to engage the muscles in the bottom of the feet? So could you push into your toes without lifting your butt away from the heel? So just pushing the toes into the ground, feeling that little bit of activation at the bottom of the feet, like that sensation that you get when you push off the toes when you're walking. Can you push into your toes? Take one more moment. And then release that pushing into the toes, lift yourself up, release your toes from that curled under position. And then keeping the hips fairly in line with the knees, we're gonna move into puppy pose. So we're gonna walk our hands towards the top edge of your mat, nice long reach through the arms, plenty of space. So walk your hands out as wide as your shoulders like, and then see if you can just soften your chest down, soften your forehead down. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, slowly start to walk yourself back up and in, nice and slow and controlled. And then we're going to spin it around onto our back side. So you come around onto your back in any way that feels good in your body. Take your time as you come down. No need for any props unless you like to have your blanket nearby for your Shavasana. So as you come down onto the ground, take a second to just make sure your clothes feel like they're in a comfortable position, your hair is in a comfortable position, and then see if you can find just a fairly neutral position on the ground. So feet maybe hip width distance apart, maybe shoulder, knees pointing up towards the ceiling, back nice and heavy on the ground, and then let your arms come out, maybe in anatomical position, so about 45 degrees away from the side of your body with your palms facing up. And then just rearrange your shoulders so that they feel good. Once you've found your way here, gaze up towards the ceiling, take a nice, generous inhale. See if you can come back and find that sensation of that expansive breath in the ribs. Nice, slow breath out. 2 more breaths here just to see if we can find that expansion in the ribs. Nice. And then we're going to keep our left foot on the ground. Left knee is going to stay bent and it's going to stay as stationary as it can. And we're going to just focus on the right leg to start. So we're going to let the right knee drop out. So a little external rotation. You're just going to let it drop out as far as feels good and then bring it back up with control. Let the right knee drop out and then bring it back up with control. And then just do that one more time with the right side. Let the knee drop out, bring it back up with control. Stay steady with the right leg, and now take the left knee, let it drop out to the side just as far as feels good to you. Bring it back with control. Let the left knee drop out. Bring it back with control, and then just do that one more time. Let the left knee drop out. Bring it back in with control. And now we're going to walk the feet a little closer together. We're going to take our legs into a butterfly position, but not extreme. We're just going to let the legs, even if that means you have to keep some muscles engaged and keep it supported. So don't want to go to the point where we're feeling too much tugging in the inner thigh and the groin. We're just going to find some external rotation here. Notice how that feels. And specifically, if you can, notice how it feels in the outer edges of your hips. Take one good breath here. Awesome. And then bring the knees back together. And now we're going to walk the knees, the inner thighs, and the feet as close together as we can get them. This might be a variation in some of our bodies, but just try to get the feet as close together, knees as close together, thighs as close together. And then we're going to push the knees in towards each other. So we're going to get some action going on. So we're pushing the knees in towards each other. Keep that pushing in sensation. So it's going to be an active position. The muscles are working, inner thighs are engaged. You might even feel the outer edges of your hips get engaged. Keep pushing those knees in towards each other. Try to keep it and hold that pushing in sensation as long as you can. Maybe see if you can keep holding there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then relax the muscles. Step your feet just a little bit wider from each other. So now maybe feet are about hip width distance apart, and then bring your hands down alongside your hips. We're going to take a little mini bridge. So we're going to barely lift the butt off the ground, just to the point where you feel your tailbone lift off the earth, and then pause there. So nice and strong. You might feel a little bit of muscle action in the quadriceps. You might feel a little bit of muscle action in your glutes. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, release your hips back down. And now we're going to walk the soles of the feet together again and come back to that butterfly position. So knees are going to drop out to the left and to the right. Only go as far as feels good. Make sure you're not pulling too much against the inner thigh or the groin. Take a moment to notice. It might feel a little different at this point. And then when you're ready, help those knees come back up together. And we're going to do that again one last time with the legs together. So feet together, knees together, inner thighs together, and then find that pushing in sensation. So we're pushing the knees in towards each other, and we're holding that active position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax that contraction. Step your feet so they're about hip width distance apart, hands alongside the hips. One more mini bridge here. So we're going to lift the butt up just barely off the ground. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Awesome. And then lower your hips back down. We're going to draw the right knee in towards the chest. Take your right knee, draw it in circles, go in one direction. Take your right knee, draw it in circles, go the other way. Cool. And then re-grab the back of the thigh. And we're going to take 3 gentle kicks of the leg. So just extend the leg up towards the sky and lower it back down. Nothing fancy. It doesn't need to be extreme. We just want to create a little space in the back of the leg. Awesome. And then when you're ready, release that foot down to the ground. We're going to take it to the other side. So left knee is going to pull in towards the chest. Draw a couple of gentle circles, go in one direction. A couple of gentle circles, go the other way. Cool. And then switch your grip, grab hold of the back of the leg and take a couple of kicks up towards the sky just to create a little length in the back of the leg. Nice. And then when you're ready, set that left foot down. Now we're going to take it into a figure 4. So we're going to pick up the right leg, externally rotate, and then the right hand is going to come to the inner thigh, and you're just going to allow a gentle push into that inner thigh. If you get to a point where you're feeling anything sensational in the knee, you may have gone too far. So gently push into the inner thigh, hopefully finding a little sensation in the outer edge of the hip. And this might feel a little different for everybody. So just take a moment to notice. Take one more breath. Release your hand from the inner thigh. Step that right foot off, and we're going to take that figure 4 to the other side. So left leg is going to step across the right. Once you've got the leg there, left hand to the inner thigh and gently push. But we want to make sure, again, that it stays safe and comfortable. So if you're feeling any sensation in the knee, release a little bit. Beautiful. When you're ready, release that hand, step that left foot off. And now we're going to toe heel the feet out nice and wide. So maybe towards the outer edges of your mat or just as wide as feels good. And you might play around a little bit and find a different position of the feet that works better for your legs and your back. But then once you've got a nice wide position with your feet, start to swish your knees side to side. Find a gentle and soft rhythm here. Take one more swish of the knees side to side, and then we're going to let the knees drop over to the right. But as you let your knees drop over to the right, can you keep or try to keep your left shoulder grounded? So we want to find almost a little gentle twist and side body stretch. So letting the knees drop down, Keeping the left shoulder grounded, arms are just going to find a comfortable position. And then maybe if it feels good, turn your head to the left. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Head is going to come to a neutral position. Pull the knees up to center and then take them over to the other side. So drop your knees over to the left, let them sink all the way down, but try to keep your right shoulder grounded. And then once you've got that in a good position, turn your head to the right, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Inhale, head to center, knees to center. And now we're going to roll over onto our right side. So we're going to roll over into a fetal position, and then you're going to choose your own adventure with your bottom arm. So if it feels good to keep it straight out from the shoulder or up and overhead, you'll just find what feels the best to you. What we want to try to do is keep our knees stacked and that top hand is free. So the top hand, if it can, is going to reach up and over and try to find the side of the head. So we're going to get a little handhold there. And once you've got your handhold on the side of the head, keeping the knees together, we're going to pick the top heel up and the head up. So we're going to think, lift the head, lift the heel, but keep the knees together. So you're going to feel a little squeeze in the side body, and then slow and controlled release it down. Inhale, lift the head, lift the heel, keep the knees together, squeeze in at the side body. Exhale to lower down. Beautiful. Do that one more time. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down, releasing your handhold from your head and just bring the hand to the hip. And then we're just going to do a little hip glide. So we're going to drive the knee forward just a little bit past the bottom knee and then pull it back. And then here, if it feels good, you can let your head rest or support the head, just whatever feels the best to you there. One more glide of that top knee. And then when you're ready, we're going to roll over onto the other side. So you can just roll over onto your other side. I'm going to spin around just so that I'm facing out to the camera. So find that sideline position, bottom arm out straight from the shoulder or underneath your head, just whatever feels good. Knees are stacked. And we're going to take that top hand, reach up and over and see if you can find the other side of your head. And then keeping the knees together. Inhale, lift the heel, lift the head, squeeze in at the side body. Exhale and release it down. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to release. Do that one more time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale to release, and then just head in the place that feels the most comfortable, totally up to you, but maybe hand on the hip just so you can find or feel that movement. So we're gliding the hip. So the knee drives past the bottom knee and then pulls forward. So we're just kind of getting that little gliding action. Take one or two more glides. Awesome. And then when you're ready, find that neutral position. And then we're just going to flip over back onto our back side. I'm just going to spin all the way around, but you come onto your back in the way that works good for you. And then toe heel the feet out just a little bit so the knees can drop in towards each other and support each other. Once you've got that constructive rest position, feet are comfortable, knees are giving all that support, we're going to take it up into the upper body. So we're just going to get a little catch of our elbows and start to pull the elbows gently side to side, keeping the shoulders grounded, keeping your head in a neutral position. One more pull of the elbows side to side with the head in the neutral position. And then we're going to add a head turn. So as your elbows pull in one direction, the head is going to turn in the opposite direction. Everything meets in the middle and the elbows pull the other way and the head turns in the opposite direction. So see if you can smooth that out, pulling the elbows to one side as the head turns the other way. Nice. One more time each side, or even yourself out. And then as you come back to center, we're going to slide the right arm all the way over and across. So we're going to get that little handhold at the back of the arm, head in a neutral position. Feel that little hug and squeeze. Take one good breath. Beautiful. And then release and switch. So we're going to take it to the other side. So we're just going to gently pull the left arm across the body. Get that little hug and squeeze. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Awesome. And then release your arms into cactus or goalpost arms, and then just rearrange your shoulder blades so that they feel like they're in a really good, comfortable position. And then toe heel the feet back in. So feet are about hip width distance apart. We're going to keep the left leg on the ground in that bent knee position, pull the right knee up towards your chest just for a second to make sure your butt and your back feel like they're in a good place. And then see if you can extend the right foot up towards the ceiling, and we're going to give that right leg a gentle shake. So let it be soft and gentle. Let the foot be soft, let the ankle be soft, let the knee be a little bit soft, and just kind of let the skin shake a little bit, let the fatty tissues jiggle a little bit, let the muscles jiggle a little bit. Take a nice deep breath in, still shaking that leg. And then when you're ready, set that foot down, and we're going to take that to the other side. So right leg is going to stay in a nice stable position. Pick the left leg up into a soft position. So no need to yank against the hamstrings, nothing extreme here. Once you've got that leg in a good position, give it a nice shake. Shaking can be soothing to the nervous system, and it can also be really good for lymphatic movement. So lymphatic fluid doesn't move all on its own. It's helped moved along with exercise and movement and shaking. So this is a really nice way to get two for the price of one. You soothe the nervous system and you move your lymphatic fluid. Take one more good shake of that leg. And then when you're ready, release all that down, let the knees drop back in towards each other, and then let your arms kind of fall out at your side. So maybe bring them back into that anatomical position. Once you've got everything else in a good place, maybe turn your head just a little bit side to side to soothe out the head, the neck, and the shoulders. And then as you start to find this gentler movement here, ask your body where would be your best shavasana or your final rest. So you might be super happy here in this constructive rest, which can be supportive to the low back. But if you want that more traditional shape, you can always walk your feet nice and long. If your back is hurting though, I recommend a little pillow or a blanket underneath the knees to keep them bent and supported. Any other position that feels good. You might choose to roll to one side. You might choose to flip over onto your belly. So find a position of the body that feels nice to you and allows you to find just a little stillness. Once you've found a restful position that makes sense to your body, either close your eyes down or just soften your gaze. Allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Let your arms be heavy and your feet be soft. And then maybe let the backs of your ribs just get nice and heavy into the ground. You always have the option to stay in your Shavasana as long as you like. So if your day allows it or your body is asking you to keep in this position, stay here. But if you feel called to do so, or your day requires it, maybe you gently start to reawaken the body. Maybe wiggle the fingers, maybe wiggle your toes, maybe rock your head a little side to side. Maybe move your wrists, maybe move your ankles, any other movement that allows you to come back into your body in a gentle way. And then once you feel like you've woken up those outer edges of your limbs, if it feels good to do so, take it into a big good morning stretch. Stretch your legs long, reach your arms up as far as feels good to you, and then get a little bit of length. Reach through your fingers, reach through your toes, take a nice big breath back into your body. And then slowly, gently, mindfully start to find your way up to a comfortable seated position. So you might choose to come up to Sukhasana with legs crossed, or you might choose to sit in any way that feels good, which also could include sitting in a chair. So anything that feels nice to you, and allows you to sit up nice and tall. And then once you feel like you've found a good seated position, take your left hand, reach across, grab those right ribs, fan your fingers out, close your eyes or soften your gaze. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Release and take that to the other side. Reach your hand across, get that nice wide grip, find those ribs. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then release that hand, stacking both hands right on top of the heart. Eyes closed or a soft gaze, just whatever feels the most comfortable. Take a nice, generous inhale, breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and the time you take to take care of yourself. And breathe in a little extra love and gratitude that you can carry with you through the rest of your night and share with everyone you see. And when you feel ready, gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. I bow to you. Happy Wednesday. I